everybody. Welcome back to That's Weird Stuff. And we are doing our first one of the year 2024. This is a show where I share strange and bizarre stories, and these guys tell me aliens or not. Why don't we talk about January 6th of 1912? January 6th, 1912. Almost got you. So that is the year New Mexico became a state. This is the hometown of Jared, and it's the base camp of me. It became the 47th state in the United States back in 1912.
Before Arizona.
Yeah, true. 1 year before. 1 year, Jared. 1 year.
But after Texas.
Texas was like way before it. But
in a country.
So the following month, we're going to explore the greatest mysteries of the land of enchantment. So if you remember our Russian series, it's kind of like that, but with New Mexico. And we're going to start with a classic mystery that has become one of the greatest mysteries in America. So in 1947, a rancher named Mac Brazel discovered a crash object on his land. Brazel contacted the military, who was quickly dispatched to recover the remains, which included a strange memory metal that had the ability to keep its shape when it was folded or crumpled up. The next day, the military had announced that it had recovered a flying saucer, but quickly they retracted this announcement and replaced the story with a recovered weather balloon. In 1978, Jesse Marcel, the major who took part in the recovery of the crash, refuted the weather balloon story in an interview and believed that the government had recovered a UFO, and in a book covering his story, reported that bodies were recovered as well. In the 90s, the U.S. government came out with a story that the crash was part of Project Mogul, a U.S. balloon operation responsible for spying on the Soviets. The bodies recovered were said to be that of test dummies used in the project. However, further independent research has cast serious doubt on the Project Mogul story. Soldiers stationed at a nearby Air Force base reported seeing strange objects in the sky the night before the crash. 200 miles west at the same time, a civil engineer and a group of archaeology students claimed to have an experience almost identical to the Roswell incident when they reported a crash where ship and body remains were recovered by the military, and the group was sworn to secrecy.
Human body remains?
We don't know.
Oh.
Furthermore, the materials recovered were very similar to materials used in aircrafts in the coming decades, but were not created yet. So, bunch of theories about what really happened in Roswell, but I want to hear your guys' theories about Roswell. So, Thomas, you were just in Roswell last year, I think it was, right? So, did you discover any bodies while you were there?
The bodies of random homeless people, but
okay.
Not dead bodies, Michael. No, but Roswell. Okay, you've been to Roswell a few times, right? I mean, I think we all have, right?
I've driven through Roswell.
You've driven. Okay, have you ever spent the day there?
No.
Yeah, Pizza Hut there once.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
true.
pizza.
Did alien pizza?
Yeah.
McDonald's.
For some reason, that town has like the weirdest feeling. I don't know what it is. It's not the we'll never know where we were dread of that one Texas town when we were moving, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
But there's this like weird feeling in the air that I can't explain, that something's just not right. So I don't know. And the whole thing about the aliens is like, well, the government's like, hey, guess what? There are aliens now. But everyone's like, yeah, we don't care. What about the inflation rate? But I don't know. Like something's weird over there. And it's not just the people, because the people are kind of out there. But like, what's funny is that when I was going to kids camp when I was like 7 to like 12, we would always used to stop in Roswell because we were going to I think it was Ruidoso. Well, I'm Texas, I don't care. We'd always stop in Roswell for lunch, but they would always, all the pastors and all like the handlers would make sure that they like formed like a ring around the kids to make sure that one, kids didn't wander off, and two, to get like nobody near them, because there were some weird people out there too. But
To be fair, there's a couple of towns in New Mexico like that, so it's
well,
not just
I know
Roswell.
I know it's kind of a hippie place. It's kind of like Colorado, but there's something in Roswell specifically that is just something's there, and I don't know what. So I would say aliens. Like I'm 80% sure that there's like something extraterrestrial going on there. Also, the whole aircraft thing being reverse engineered is like, that's been a theory for a while now, I think. And I think they even like took some of that for Transformers.
Yeah.
When Megatron was like captured in the ice, like all of our technology came from him. That kind of makes sense, honestly. I mean, there's this massive boom of technology like leap in the last 100 and something years. So I don't know. Aliens would be a pretty cool feeling about that. So yeah.
So let's go to the native New Mexican. Jared, what are your thoughts on Roswell?
Yeah, it's like Thomas was mentioning, that Texas town is evil. That's the feeling.
Yeah, that's like,
Roswell is like
that-
Men in Black. It's like,
Yeah.
you're not human.
Yeah.
New Mexico is kind of like that. It's like the North. Joseph can like back me up, and like family members saying there's like witches everywhere, and it's like,
yeah, walking around in the fields at
yeah,
night.
that's like up there is all like culture, or like what is it, supernatural. Like Roswell is all aliens. It's a fun place. you get all of it. But I like to think that New Mexico has like a huge percentage of alien life, citizens. So yeah, we welcome the extraterrestrials. We're like, just live with us.
Michael,
Interesting. The first thing you said something about metal that held its shape, and then my first thought was foil. I was like, maybe these people never seen foil before.
it's not foil. There's a picture of the guy like holding the objects, but he says this was kind of the cover story.
Hmm.
So you could tell it's kind of like that space aged foil or whatever they
Yeah.
use for a space program. But they also had this other, I saw this show where they were testing out different metals, and they showed them to the guys who recovered it. And it was closest to acetone sheet metal. And you could tell when they crumble it, it like goes back.
Hmm.
So it's very
Interesting.
solid. The thing about acetone, like I said, is it is used in aircrafts, but it came like a decade after Roswell. So, further the theory that reverse engineering was going on. So,
I always like to think of Star Trek 4. It's like transparent aluminum.
oh,
It's like, don't you think that we're like altering the times? Like, he might have invented it.
Yeah.
Who knows?
One time I was at work, and Carlos comes in the office. He's like, "Have you ever heard of transparent aluminum?" And I was like, "Yes."
Star Trek 4.
You ever seen Star Trek?
We
You're
got
like-
whales here.
You're like, why? Do you need to move some legs?
I remember when me and Jared were working at the same place, and we took lunch at I think it was United, and I started watching Star Trek 4, and the theme song for Star Trek came on my phone, and this one guy across from us like looks over like, yeah, good job. So
My second
right,
Star
question
Trek.
that popped in my head was, does anyone leave Roswell? Like, you visit there, but have you ever met anyone that says, I'm from Roswell, and they're in California or something? Like, I don't feel like
the only people I know
I don't
that,
feel like anyone's ever moved there or moved from there.
yeah, I don't know people that moved to Roswell.
Yeah, so like,
True.
who's gonna think, yeah, man, I just really wanted to live in Roswell? I don't know.
So where I work, I mingle with a lot of people from different towns because I work in education, so a lot of people come out from the different towns to do their schooling. I don't think I've ever met someone from Roswell.
So there's either this is my stance on Roswell. It is either a front for something, like the whole congregation's in on it. It's not just like a site for aliens. Like everyone's either a paid actor or something, or they're something is weird about that, or it's like a diversion. They're like, look over here at this hand while we play over here with this other hand. Like it's too obvious and too showy. So like, look over here, and then really it's just Plano, Texas, that UFOs are just striking cows and stuff, and everything's obvious, but no one's paying attention. Yeah, I don't know about Roswell. Roswell's weird, but you guys are right. It does have a very, very strange feeling when the only few times I've been through there. But yeah.
All right.
I feel like Roswell's like you ever read Shadow over Innsmouth by H.P. Lovecraft? Okay, it's basically this one guy is like investigating some ancestry or whatever that he has for this town, and it turns out the whole town is like related to fish people. But that's what it feels like when you go to Roswell. Is like you instantly are an outsider. Like they know that you're not from Roswell.
I'm waiting for someone's head to go, and then you hear Orion's belt.
I always remember the way he says it. Roswell. What?
Roswell.
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 Yeah, I definitely think you're seeing, because this is one of the first UFO stories. So you can really tell the government like didn't know how to handle it at first. They're like, "Oh yeah, we got a UFO. Oh no, weather
shouldn't have said
that." So I definitely think they found stuff. The bodies, I'm not too sure about, but I do think some reverse engineering was going on with all the metal and plastics they found. So yeah, I'm a big believer that something happened.
I love that imagery of. Wait, we can't say UFO? What are you talking about?
It's just the gif of Hagrid. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that.
The most recent presidents have been very elusive about what they say about Roswell. Like Clinton was like, well, I can tell you stuff, but I'm not allowed to. And I think Obama was like, it's not that interesting. Obama is very like, he did not let anything go of the UFO stuff. Trump was more, he was willing to release stuff and he wanted to. I just don't think they let him.
I think he just wanted to like empty out like the classifieds, and he's like, "Here, just take it.
This is fun. Throw it off the building."
So we had like our most secretive president, who was Obama. He's like, you don't want to see what's in there. And then
he's like, aliens? No, there's no aliens.
And then Trump, but then he's like more open with it, and I think that's why you're seeing a lot of the kind of disclosure we're having right now.
But then our savior from Blink 182 was like, there are aliens.
Of course there are. All right. Well, that was part 1 of our New Mexican mystery series. So come back for part 2 when we'll go up north, like Jared said.
Ooh.
Talk about a little more of the supernatural.
Did you guys see or
the
look
Skinwalkers?
The end? Did you guys see or look at anything that happened in Miami?
What happened in Miami?
What is going on with that? I keep seeing memes about it.
There were hundreds of police cars at this one location, and people were saying it was either an alien thing or a terrorist thing. Like there were hundreds of cop cars, and I never actually went back and looked into it, but no, they weren't saying what anything was going on.
All I'm seeing on for memes and stuff is like the Men in Black stuff. Like, hey, guess what? Click. Yeah, I was like, what is going on? Nobody's talking about this.
About aliens or terrorists. And never
really.
Yeah. Wow. Weirdly enough, from a Lubbock meme. What do you call it? Page is where I first saw it. I was like,
firstly, let's discuss. You follow a Lubbock meme page?
Oh, you need to. If you live here, you will get everything that they have.
Is it all Whataburger and King of the Hill memes?
No. Okay, this is a specific one. I don't know if you guys go there anymore, but 19th Street and University, there's like a dancing guy at that gas station. You know where that Chevron is?
I've never really been sure.
Right by Texas Tech. He's there like every other day. And I was like, oh, yeah. No, I know that guy. I've seen him quite a bit, actually. So very specific Lubbock humor. So
we'll have to do weird stuff for Texas. I don't remember when Texas became a state. Do you know, Thomas, off the top of your head?
1837, I think. I need to double check.
All right. Well,
it was 4 years after
they became a state.
Yeah. we'll look into it and see what month Texas became a state and plan around that. Because Texas has some mysteries as well.
Texas has got some weird stuff.
Well, thanks for watching our weird stuff. Like, subscribe, and notify yourself for even more, and we will be back next time. Bye.